The other day, SwordMaster got buffed, and this week, SwordMaster Assassin has also been buffed for similar solo and farming performance increases. If you would like to get your hands on the SwordMaster Assassin class, there are two ways you can go about it. You can either get it from Dage's Dark Birthday shop, it will cost you 2,000 adventure coins, or you need the original BladeMaster Assassin. Head over to the Curiosities and you can do the SwordMaster Assassin class quest. Okie dokes, so the forge we're running in this one is going to be Dauntless, Lament and Vim, and it seems to be really effective. We're getting some really nice numbers out of this class. It is a 6 target farming class, which is great news, although it is fairly niche, but if you are going along into a room with lots of mobs, it is a very viable option. One of the biggest things to note with this, I'm not even going to try and say this particular skill. When you use your skill 5, you will sheath your weapon, essentially meaning you can't use skill 2 and 3 as your damage outputs anymore, and you get some extra buffs instead. So you can apply this one if you would like killing edge, and you can get these effects, which will be off of your skill 2. Or alternatively, you do also have skill 3 that you can use, and this will also be awarding you some damage resistance and a decay, which is really nice to know. Now, sheath only lasts for a few seconds, so you're not going to be attacking for very long, which with 11,000 damage a second was quite a good showing. Now, I'll show you how I actually go about using this class, and solo performance is something that has also been increased with it. I typically go for a 2, a 3, a 4, and then I'll hit 5 and sheath my weapon. You can then stack up skill 4 times to get bonus damage, essentially giving yourself a little mini nuke when you then go along and use 2 or 3. You can just use skill 1 manually to unsheath, and that will also apply the spinning dragon and the bonus damage, but then you don't get these extra effects. So that's what I was noticing when I was using it. So what I'd be doing is 2, 3, 4, hit a 5, 4 lots of 4, and then using 2 or 3. As you may have spotted, flash up just a moment ago was a 73k crit, but on average I was doing about 57k if I wasn't thinking too much about which skills I was really going about pressing. I really like this now. It is a decent little class for 2,000 adventure coins. It's not all that bad, so it is potentially a viable option if it's something you've got lurking in the bank. Maybe you've got the original BladeMaster version, or indeed if you do want to go along and spend the money on it. It's not very often we get these 6 target farmers, but that is also because a lot of the rooms, generally, you're farming in 3s. So maybe it's not going to be overly relevant for you, but it could be worth thinking about, and it is nice that it has been buffed and it does feel really powerful. At least that was what it was like with Forge. We'll come back and do a review on this in the future and maybe compare it with SwordMaster. In the review, we'll also go through and do the base class so you can see how it performs without Forge. If you would like to know all the changes that have happened to the BladeMaster/SwordMaster Assassin, you can now pause your screen and I'll flick everything up for you. Amongst these SwordMaster changes, they've also been updating some of the Dark Casters, so that's happened as well. We'll likely have a little dabble into those at some point soon. Anyway folks, as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do leave the video a like and of course subscribe, and I'll be back for another one incredibly soon.